Oh, he's getting it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Metal Customs. Today we're getting back on the 1970 Cougar project. And for those of y'all that have been keeping up in your regular watch on all of these cars, you know that last episode on the Cougar, we done some metal repair and stuff, a little bit of body work. And because humidity was not being nice to us, we had this thing down to mostly metal. So I threw it in the paint booth, give her a good wash, and put a coat of epoxy on it, and then sprayed some high build primer after that epoxy cured. So now we're at the point where we need to block sand this and find all our little imperfections, dents, and stuff like that. And I'm going to start on the roof, and the place like you can see I got a run there, just a little bitty run. And what I'm going to use is my electric DA. That'll get the runs out of there pretty quick. And then for everything else, regular block. It's not a super solid block, but it's pretty stiff. And yes, I'm using 80 grit. I know that's pretty coarse for block sanding, but I'm just going to be real light. And all I'm doing is hunting the bad spots. And of course, after all of this sanding and fixing what we fix, it goes back in the booth, it gets more high build, and then it gets block sanded with 400 down nice and smooth. And we also got this little one right here. That'll get into these spots like that there. But yeah, that's where we're at. So let's get to doing. So first things first, try to get some of these little runs I got. Make sure there wasn't no dust on there. And the runs are going to be easy, guys. They're easy to see and just... See, and that run's gone. That's why I like the 80 on the DA right quick. The rest of it, there's no runs up there. Maybe one on the other side, but we'll see. The rest of this is just pretty much same old, same old. Come in here with your block sander, stand up here so you fall down and hurt yourself, and just go at it. All right, now let's take a closer look. We have two spots. Hopefully the camera will let y'all see them. I'm going to look through the camera as I go up. Okay, yes. See that? That's a low spot. You see how the 80 scratched everything except for that. And I mean, that's barely low. That's something that probably just get a swipe of very, very light. I wouldn't even say any kind of filler, maybe icing would probably take care of that. And then we have this spot here. And as you can see, the dark around it is telling me that that's low. So maybe this is just a little high, if you see what I'm saying. So let me put the camera back. We're going to take our sandpaper and hit that a little bit more and see if we can work it out. If y'all can see that now, then it's not terrible, but it will take a little bit of filler. Let me get you up here closer. Now you see what I'm talking about. See, I sanded it plumb down the middle. So that's telling me that that's not too hot. But now we just have a little low. Now and I mean just a little, guys. Like I say, that's something, a little swipe of icing, a little sanding, you take care of. So we've got one there. Then we need to deal with these small ones here. Yeah, I love putting tape on stuff. All right, so off camera, let me run over to the other side and get it all blocked right quick. We'll see what we got there. All right, got the other side of the roof done. No dents over there. Everything's looking fine. So far as our roof goes to here, all we have is that and that. Very slight. So what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to do a lot of this off camera, just basically what I just showed you. You know, taking the DA, getting the runs out right quick. But besides that, block sand this whole car. Yeah, it's going to wear me out, but this is part of it, guys. If you don't like sanding, don't get in this business. That's a fact. But I'm going to go ahead and I'll start here and just come down and get what I can get and start hunting bad spots. That's the way it's done. All right, I got this side here all blocked out. And yeah, guys, after I blocked it, and looked at it real close and run my hand over it where there wasn't any dents or problems. I did hit it with the DA to smooth it down a little more. But as you can see, like up here, low spot, low spot, low spot. But now, I know some of y'all saying, hey, I see on black spots. Yes, you do. That is not a low spot. That's smooth as can be. Here's the deal. The high build primer that's on there, when you sand it, it lightens up. But the epoxy sealer that I have under there, it does not get lighter when you sand it. So as you can see, I sanded through some of the high build and got into the sealer, which is okay. But that's the thing, you got to be able to tell what is a dent and what isn't a dent. These right here are just chips. That right there turned out, I had to sand that a little more. Rocker turned out fine. We do have a low spot here and a little divot thing right there. Yep, of course, when I'm going across here, I'm checking everything. And ooh, rust spot popped up on me. I took my hammer and went through here and tried to get all this nice and even. So we're going to have to work this spot and that little spot right there. The rest of it back here, of course, that's fine. From there up to here is new metal anyway. So, but yeah, no warps came in it or anything when I welded it on, and didn't get no dings or dents in it. Here, like I said, we got a low spot there, very slightly, but it is. Now here, you see, I put an H for high, 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 high. A little ripply right through here. Just these little spots, 1, 2, 3, just feel a little funny. they're high because you can see the silver. You know, the actual body started sanding before all of the primer got off of there. So we'll have to take a little body hammer and dolly these and them. But yeah, there's a catch up on this side. Now I'm going to give the camera a rest and give myself a rest. And then I'll run over and do the passenger side. All right, I got the passenger side all sanded down. And it's looking pretty good. You see them little nicks in there. A little low spot on that corner. Besides that, see these shinies? Yeah, them four, that one, and that one. Them are high. And we do have a few high spots back here. I mean, you got to run your hand over them real slow to even feel them, but they're there. So we're going to tap on them some. The rest of it is fine. Yeah, turned out no problem. I think what I'm going to do next is just grab me a body hammer and start working on these high spots. All right, I'm going to start on this side. Driving side, because there ain't that many that need to come out of there. Let's say they're small ones. Using a really flat punching motor. I know some guys may get a body hammer and a dolly on the inside. Whatever works for you, do it. Like that. One there. And then, white hit on this one. Perfect. Grab a block. Now let's see what that does. That's still high. You see a low spot right in there. So, a little more tappa. I think it's right in here, I think. Yeah, I think that was it. And that feels a ton better. And all I'm doing, guys, I'm not getting them 100% flush when I do that. Even though these two feel like it. You tell this one went in just a shade. Then I'll come back with a little icing after I sand the crap out of that. I'll come back with a little icing and treat these as if they were low spots. All right, but that's how I'm doing it. And we'll run over to the other side. It's a little more complicated, got a few more over there, but I'll do them the same way. And after I do like my flat punch with my regular hammer. I may go in there with my good flat hammer and just it feels pretty good. Oh yeah. Yeah, thin coat ice and how to do that. All right, well let me knock out the other side and then we'll go on. All right, y'all. It is the next day. What I'm gonna do now is start repairing these and doing my body work. First thing we do, and I'm just gonna show you on this one, this low spot we got here. We'll take our 80 grit, scuff her up really good. Get her scratched up all nice. Okay. We'll take, where'd our other thing go? Alright, blow it off. And I like using a little bit of Windex. Spray some Windex on the rack. And then just clean that area where I want to be putting my filler. Alright, we'll let that dissipate. And off camera, I'm going to go ahead and do all these other spots exactly like I done this one here. And then we'll mix up some filler and get them filled. All right, to get everything wiped down, I have my USC Chromate filler. Yeah, I decided to use filler instead of icing. There we go, that's way too much. Yeah, that's way too much harder. It'll mix, it'll spread, and it'll work. Besides, it's only like 64 degrees in here, so should have enough working time to use this much up. I believe that's mixed up pretty good. And I like to spread it out like this right here. And pretty basic, guys. Just go in here, wherever our little spots are. And I put more than I need. That's the fact. Just rechecking to make sure I got all the spots. That's why I like having the tape there so I can see. All right, not bad. Not much waste there at all. All right, let's let that cure. All right, while I'm waiting for that filler to dry, Let's go ahead and get this spot here. Yeah, I cut that out a long time ago, and I keep forgetting to make a piece for it and repair it. That's just a small rust spot. So let's go ahead and get that taken care of. All right, first thing we're going to do is get that area cleaned up some. Get my grinder with my cutoff wheel on it. Everybody knows that's my go-to for pretty much everything. All right, got power. Let's rock. All right, got that cleaned underneath. Now let's make us a cardboard cutout. Good piece of cardboard right here. See what the easiest way is for me to do this. My arms ain't long enough. We'll try to hold it in there and then just trace around it. That'd be the easiest way to do it. But what about that? We can see it right through here. Sure can. All right, it wiggled on me some, but let's see what we can do. That gives us a good general start. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it bigger because it did wiggle a lot. It's pretty close. Trim this side just a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, let's go over to our piece of metal and trace it out. Already got a piece of metal out. That's going to work out pretty good. Maybe I can cut this with the hand shears. It's fairly thick metal. Cool. Let me clean up the edges. flatten it out like that. Think about the hand cutters. They'll twist the metal a little bit. Let's see how it looks in here. I think that will do. Let me get down here and a little bit more. It's a couple of little spots. All right. Make it a lot easier. That's your bits. Yeah, that fit in there pretty good. All right. So, off camera. Let me get that welded in. All right. Got that welded in there. Yeah, it looks fine. And I went ahead and welded it underneath as well. If y'all can see that. Yeah, y'all can see that. So now I'll take my old grinder here and get her cleaned up. And then we'll probably put a little bit of a seam sealer around it for the small spots. And that'll have that taken care of. All right, everyone. It's the next day. And, I just finished that hatch back there. I'll try to remember to show you all that. We got that knocked out yesterday before I left. But today, we're going to sand off these places that we put on yesterday. You see I've done that spot. Got the two on the roof done, and the spot back there. I just want to show y'all how I do a spot. Now, there again, this is how I do it. Everybody does things different. The reason I do it this way is to save time and effort. First thing I do, I get some 80 grit on this little DA. I'm just going to go in here and get it down close to where it needs to be. Alright, that's pretty close where it needs to be. Now I'll take my block and finish it up. There we go. Fantastic. And that's how I do it. It does save a lot of time there. Well, guys, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these spots off camera. I just want to show y'all how I do one and get it. But, yeah, I'll get that done, then we'll check it out. All right. Got it all sanded down and blocked out. And not too bad, guys. We are going to have to mix up some of the icing. Got a little spot right there. See this right in there? That needs a little icing. Where's this? I want to put a little bit right in this spot right here. The roof was fine. We got a, I call it a drag mark right there. Icing that, a little bit there. This turned out fine. All the top of the door is fine. Yeah, we got a little spot right there. See that? And you just barely feel it. But yeah, that's what icing's good for. Everything else turned out just fine. So yeah, not too bad at all. So let's get us some icing mixed up and get that on there. All right, guys, got us some icing here. Y'all know I use this German stuff. Why? Because I like it. It works good. It's not cheap, but it is a good product. Let me go clean this off right quick. Now I'll show you how to mix that up and put it on. All right, got that cleaned up. Oh man, stuff's been sitting a while. It's like an oil in there. And we need to get that mixed up. We won't need very much of this. Just a few little spots. There we go. Yeah, mixed up pretty good. Probably about all we'll need too. Yeah, like I say, the filler turned out really good on there. Now, just use regular hardener like you would for your filler, for your plastic filler or your fiberglass. These come with a little tube of glue hardener too. I just happened to grab this one as the closest one. A little dab will do you. And that's probably way too much. Yeah, a bit much. But, like I said when I was doing the filling, it's cool out here. Over 64 degrees, so we'll have enough working time with this. And it's dry a lot faster. Of course, it's getting towards the end of the day, so we won't sand this until tomorrow. Alright. Like I say, this is just, think of it as plastic filler that's really thin. That's the best way I can describe it. You just, all we're doing, in our little line, that was in there. That's it. Yeah, let me run around here and get all these others. But that's it, pretty simple. Just like putting on plastic filler, except it's a lot thinner. All right, we got all that on there. Got me some down there. Some right there. Well, if I back up some, y'all can see. All right there. There's some spots over here. Back here on the back. Yeah, I got a little excessive on that, but it's sand up. Seen a couple little spots in there, so I went and throw some on there. Of course, we got that spot down there that we were supposed to get. And I went ahead and just, I had a little bit extra left over, so I throwed some on the roof, just so I can get a finer sand on that. This here will be sanding off. Probably be using some 40 grit or something, some 220, 320, something along them lines, something a little finer than that 80. But yeah, let this sit overnight and we'll get this part done. All right, guys, it's the next day and our icing's dried really well. So I'm going to show you how I do one spot and I'll do the rest of them off the camera. I've got my DA with that piece of wore out 80 on there. I'll use this to get the majority off. Swap that 80 for a piece of 220. Alright, run up a small block. It already had these 400 on it. Oh yeah, smooth as silk. And that's the way we'll do the rest of them. So let me get busy. Got all of that sanded down. See how well that turned out. Yeah, got that piece there all done up like I wanted it. Same way back here. Lovely. Of course, y'all seen me do that one. Got these back here. And then we had the one on the door there. We got it. The roof, I can't reach that high because I'm short. But we did get both of the spots on the roof. So yeah, cool. We got a lot of work done this week. And most important thing, we got a lot of really good work done this week. So I think that's going to wrap up this episode on the Cougar. Like I say, we're just out of time for this week. But we did get good work done. Everything's turning out nice and smooth. It looks great. I will go back over it and recheck everything a couple of times before we throw it in the paint booth and wash it and put more high build on it so we can get that final smooth sand on it and actually get the body part ready for paint. Well, everyone, I do appreciate you watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed doing it. If you would, throw us down some comments. Hit us up on Patreon and super thanks. And please like, share, and subscribe. Again, appreciate it much. Till the next one, we hope that everyone has a fantastic day.